Hey guys, so the night's kind of coming to an end, but I wanted to share some things with you here since it's Easter and post this with our Easter video. Um, so I was thinking about today and what I wanted to share, and I have concerns because I want to make sure that this channel is, really meant to be inclusive and invite people to chase their freedom and chase what they're passionate about. And so my beliefs are not always a requirement for someone to follow their passion, but I think it's also not fair for me to leave some of these things out, and especially on a day like today, which is Easter.
Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah. And if it's good, I won't even worry anymore. Took all my cares, took and kicked them all out the door. Go on and try, come and tell me what you're waiting for. Move and keep them going till your life is overflowing, yeah. I do a dance of victory, cause now I'm living good. No, I'm not living like I used to be. I talk about things, talk about my mind.
And so Easter is a pretty special day to me for several reasons. And so I hope that the what I share with you doesn't feel exclusive or excluding. Some may unsubscribe if maybe they don't share my beliefs. I don't operate that way in my life, where if someone doesn't agree with me, then I don't support them or love them. I'm okay. I mean, if I'm boring or you don't want to hear the content, then that's a different conversation. But anyway, so what I wanted to share with you is kind of my story about really this day, Easter, and what it means to me. And it started when I was 22 years old. I actually met a gal who was, to me, like absolutely amazing. And I was super excited. We got engaged and we got married. We got engaged and we were getting ready to get married. And about 2 months before we got married, we found ourselves sitting across from my uncle, who was a pulmonary specialist. And my uncle had flown in town and he was visiting some family, and he sat down with us at dinner, and then later went back to my fiance at the time's house, and she had been suffering some symptoms that we were kind of concerned about. And so he went and did a look at kind of an assessment of her, and when he did that, he came back to me and said, it looks like she's got one of three things: cancer, cancer, or cancer. And that day changed my life. It's probably the biggest influence and reason why I live the way I do now. Additionally, over the next few days, we drove up to Spokane, Washington, where my uncle was the doctor, and he helped us out. And then we went out there and did some tests. The tests included a bone marrow biopsy and several other things, some of the most painful things I've ever seen anybody go through. And my 19-year-old fiance at the time, Melissa, was then on my birthday, April 6th, diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease. And the doctors, I remember, came into us and told us that she needed to start chemotherapy right away, and that in doing that we would probably never have our own kids. And that was probably one of the hardest things that I ever heard in my life. And I grew up with a father who loved me and a mother who loved me, and they did everything they could to provide a great life for me. And I wanted to be a dad. And she looked at me at that moment and said, "You don't have to do this." We were still only engaged. And I looked at her and I said, "Oh, yes, I do. I know that I'm supposed to be with you." And so we decided to move forward with the marriage. So that was Thursday, April 6th, and as you might have heard in a couple of videos back, that I had my anniversary on April 8th. So April 8th, 2 days, I planned a wedding in 2 days, put on my wedding planner hat, and planned a wedding in 2 days. And it was amazing. Miracles happened. She didn't have a dress, and we ended up, there happened to be a bridal show in the town we were in. She walked around and had a name tag on her chest that said, you know, the date she was supposed to get married, and it said today. Everybody else's was obviously in the future, and people were like, what's your story? What's going on? And she told the story, and sweet lady said, well, hey, I'll do your hair for you. And another really nice lady said, hey, I'll do your makeup for you for free, to demonstrate to other people what we do. And she'd been looking for a dress, and she couldn't find a dress, and she ended up finding that dress, finding a dress, and she said, oh, I love it. They said, well, we don't know if it'll fit, but you can try on the only one we have here, which is on the mannequin. She tried it on, and it fit perfectly. Felt like miracles happening. And later on that night, we got married, and we're, you know, sealed together to be together. And then we flew back to where the doctors were and started our treatments on the following Monday. Our honeymoon was basically a day. And it was just miracles. The photographer, the videographer happened to be available. There were $150 round trip tickets last minute from Dallas, where most of my family is from, and just things happened for me. And so I'm so grateful for those miracles in my life, but not everything is always a miracle. And without sharing all the details, we fought for the next 10 months, but on February 10th, 10 months later, my wife died. And I don't know what you believe, and I don't ask you to believe the same way as me. I know there's people that call believing in God some sort of fairy tale. But I don't know that I could have gone through the experiences that I went through and not have seen the hand of God and the help that He gave me during that time. And so, as I think about this day of Easter, I think one of the things that means the most to me is the fact that Christ, as I believe, died, but also that He lived again. And there's a hope in that for those that we love and that I love, that we'll see each other again. Now, I'm going to try to get Molly to share with you her thoughts on this, because it's hard for a lot of people to hear this and understand her feelings. And all I can tell you is that she has a gift of understanding, of abundance, of generosity, that has helped her to understand this maybe even more fully than I do, and to love a man who has loved before but didn't lose that love to divorce or to anything else. I'm still grateful and still love my wife Melissa that passed away, and I love Molly, and I choose her, and she is a gift, and she is an amazing woman, and I am so grateful. I would not be the man that I am without her. But my story would not be my story without the story of Melissa. And so on this Easter day, I celebrate a God that lives. And maybe a few of you want to unsubscribe if you don't share that belief. I'm not going to spend a lot of time focused on these things in our vlogs, but I felt like today was one of those days where it was appropriate to share it. And that's why family is so important to me, is because, and capturing these memories, because I have one tape of Melissa talking about our story. It's in Spanish. She was from Mexico City, and it's a story of us and our life together. And I'm grateful for that one little memory, but I vlog so that I have these memories forever. And I hope that this maybe reminds you and gets you to think about your life and your stories, and as you want to vlog or capture these memories in your family and your life so that they're never forgotten. that's my Easter message here. Thanks for watching. And those of you that are gone through similar things or are going through similar things, my heart goes out to you. And I share one final thing that I've learned about losing someone, and that's that somehow in the pain, the sorrow of losing them, there's a reconnection with them for forevermore. And every time I feel that moment, or that feeling of maybe a smell or a song or even a person that looks like Melissa, it floods back in my mind that love that I have for her. And sometimes it causes tears in my eyes, but I'm grateful for those tears because it reminds me that she's still alive in my heart. And somehow in that there's a great lesson in learning of loving beyond Melissa and loving Molly fully with everything that she deserves to be loved with. And I don't know that I understand it all perfectly, but I am grateful for the life that I've been given and the road that I'm on. And I do believe it's the perfect road for me to learn to become who I'm supposed to become. And so hopefully by sharing this, I invite you to just trust that your life is happening for you, not to you. And that there's something there special inside of all the pain and anguish and challenge. And there's something oftentimes more even beyond the pain and challenge. It's even more beautiful and even more incredible and even more available for you because of those lessons, because of the depth of knowledge and learning and pain that existed in the past. And so grateful. I feel a little bit like Job if you do read that book. And all right, that's the end of my night. If you know of someone that this would be valuable for, I'd invite you to share it with them. Thanks guys for following me here at Streamin Freedom and my family, and I hope you enjoy the journey with us as we continue to travel around the country in our RV. Sorry it was late, dark, but happy Easter.